Go do the deep work that it takes to heal the things that have broken you for so many years, because those broken pieces will affect everything else in your life. And if you're a woman out there that has no kids, please do the work so you don't get blindsided and gaslighted by the Cam Newtons and the Nick Cannons of the world that come and sing beautiful tunes and butterflies and rainbows in your ears, and then they don't back it up. Because they just want more children, but they don't want families. They don't want a partner. They don't want a life partner at that. So don't let yourself get bamboozled into being part of this game that these men have going on. Hello, beautifuls. My name is Giselle, co-host of the Strong Sunflowers podcast and founder and CEO of the Create app, an app specifically created for content creators. Think Uber, but for content creators. We are changing the game. Whenever you're looking to hire a photographer, a content creator, a videographer, where do you go? You usually go on Google or you go on Instagram, and then it'll take you to a website. Then you go see all these things that they can offer, but there's almost never any pricing, so you still have to reach out. And it's all this hassle. The Create app is gonna change all that. It's gonna create a place that you can go, bam, see the content creators in your area that are available. You can set your event on there, whether it's a wedding, a birthday, a party, whatever you want, and hire them on the spot, hire them to the app. They'll meet you where you said to meet them. And yeah, simple as that. It launches in November, so make sure that you're following us on Instagram. I'm super excited to tell you guys more in depth, but let's talk about this, because if you are not living under a rock, you have seen the interview between Cam Newton and Dr. Bryant. And can we go back to the interview that Jazz Brown did with Shan Boodram, which I love her?
All right, so let's bring it back to the basics. What is the art of being submissive? First step is get with somebody who wants what you have to offer. I think love and submission is a tailored fit. It's not a one size fits all. So I can only tell you what it means to me. Now for me, it's complete selflessness. I am satisfied in serving. I'm a servant, and I watched my mother serve all my life. My mother's love for my father wasn't conditional. It's not my responsibility, but
it's your joy.
It is my joy. I love to see him eating the meal that I cooked. I love seeing him sleep easy. Like every night, like clockwork, I scratch this man's back to sleep. And I know when he's asleep because I can tell when his breathing changes. And some people might think that's psychotic, but that's like, I just know that's when I'm like, oh, I can stop now. But I find joy in being your rest.
I remember when I watched that interview and I could see like her point of view, because when I'm with a man, I tend to be very submissive as well. Even though I portray this like strong, independent woman, which I am, but when I have a partner, I do like to play those roles. I feel like everybody has a role to play, especially in a partnership and a marriage. But if you've seen what I learned in my situationship video is that, baby, you need to learn to play your role. And now, after seeing what has been going on, and at the time I didn't even know who she was dating, baby, you did not know how to play your role. And now you're a baby mama. But it's just wild to me that nowadays that's the norm. Like this low functioning behavior is the norm. Like even the little snippet that she did on her Instagram.
So if y'all don't know, I'm the third one, and this is his sixth child. Someone said, ooh. Right, couldn't have been me. All right, till a rich nigga put that pressure on you. I could never be with nobody. Okay. Until $100 million nigga start putting the pressure on you, you don't know what the fuck you do. Talking about what you'll never be. Bitch, you ain't never had. Oh, you better than me. I am.
Oh, now you're a baby mama. Let's make a world tour about it. Like, no, there's nothing good about wanting to be a baby mama, about being a baby mama. We are creating broken homes. And when it comes to me saying this, I'm not just simply putting the blame on men, because I feel like as women, we have more power for conception. Like if we don't really want to get pregnant, baby, trust and believe that we will not get pregnant, okay? So these women are just as guilty as the men. Like being someone's baby mama, it's not a goal, it's not a flex, it's not a joke, it's not funny. The people that suffer the most in these situations are these kids. Cam Newton has 8 children by 3 different baby mamas. Like Dr. Bryant was talking on the interview, like these homes are broken. And even though you try to make it a blended family, and then knowing the difference between high value men, which is like, okay, you have status, you have money, but at the end of the day, the richest people sometimes be the most sad and depressed because they don't have the things that truly matter. Because at the end of the day, all your kid wants to do is be able to spend Christmas with you. Is everybody coming to the same house and spending Christmas together? At the end of the day, what your kid wants from you is you being able to take them to school. Are you able to take each kid to school? Are you able to go to all the little school functions, the little shows, you know? Because now you gotta make this money to provide for not only 8 children, but their mothers as well. And anything can happen, you know? Money can go just like that. I learned this from interviewing people on the podcast. And before I was like, oh, I want like 4 kids. And then I was like, damn, I think we always think of like cheating or the partner leaving, but damn, what about death? What about if your partner leaves? And I feel like people nowadays are acting like the 1% because they got money like that. And they do have like, you know, life insurance and all these things. But the normal Joe, if you have 8 kids, bitch, you better have 8 motherfucking jobs. And I bet you're not seeing any of those kids. So it's just mind-boggling the way that he was reacting in that interview. Like, why are we not choosing ourselves, our worth? Why are we choosing to procreate with these men, these low-functioning men, just because they have money, just because, I don't know, they're good in bed, like, just because they're a smooth talker? Like, excuse me? Shout out to the women that have actually done the work and that they have healed themselves so they don't bring or attract these broken men into your life to just fuck you up. I have been divorced for the last 5 years, I believe, and I was separated 2 years prior to that. And even from my divorce, I haven't really dated anybody since then. I was in a like 4-year situationship kind of relationship thing, but that's where I learned to play my role, right? According to who the hell I am. Are we just talking? Am I your girlfriend? Or am I your fiance? Am I your wife? Am I your life partner? And I think the hardest part about breaking that relationship off was that I felt that it's been harder in the dating field because a lot of men out here are not matching my intellect. I don't know, maybe I need to put myself in different situations because not even one. Again, men don't really approach me. And when I went to Invest Fest this past weekend, it was a totally different vibe. Your girl was outside. So maybe I just need to be where the people that would approach me will, because my energy, my aura, my vibe, like no low functioning over here, baby. You're gonna have to. Those red flags are so fucking bright. My cornea is freaking burning. I'm not here for this. I've worked too hard on myself and my self-worth and what I love and what I appreciate to let a man come into my life to fuck it up. Okay? I am 28. I am single. I don't have any children. Like, don't be over here pressuring me to settle. Okay?
Attractive woman out of 41 years have not met Mr. Right. Mm-hmm. That's enough time to find a lot of things out.
I bet.
And yet, no kids, single. I'm not, but I am saying, are women's expectations unrealistic?
Because that's one of the things that he said to her was like, oh, but you're 41 and single with no kids. Don't settle, baby, because I'd rather be 41 single with no kids at peace than stress the fuck out, respectfully.
Kids.
So your non-negotiable is a person who does not have children?
My non-negotiable is a person with kids, but yes, I get how you're saying it, yes.
So you cannot date a person, you cannot be with a person.
I can, but I'm choosing not to.
So
I can be with anyone, but I'm choosing not to. I gotta correct it. It's my narrative, Cam.
You're like jumping in, jumping out. It's either.
Cam. No, it's not I can't. There's no such thing. I can date whoever I want. I am definitely well equipped to do so. Okay. So I'm not gonna allow that word to be something that fits what I can't do. I'm well equipped to date anybody.
Yes.
My preference,
yes,
because there's nothing wrong with a lot of men who have kids. So I don't wanna put that narrative out there.
Yes.
My personal preference is I would not choose to date a man with kids.
Okay.
Also from this clip, like, he cannot get it through his dense head that just because you would consider yourself a high value man, which I wouldn't consider you high value, but let's say for the sake that we're just talking about money and you consider yourself a high value man, like, I would still not be with anybody of your caliber because I don't date men with kids. And it was so hard for him to understand this coming from Dr. Bryant, because she's like, no, like, it's a no for me. And then he's like, oh, well, but you're old. You're 41. You need to settle down, girl, because at your age, it's going to be hard to find men like that. She might have to go younger. But shoot, I'm 28 and I do not date. I repeat, I do not date people with kids, and nor do I want to. And when I say this is because from that situationship relationship, he did have 2 kids. And there's a lot of things going on in that dynamic where you feel like you're not part of the circle, the inner circle, because he has already this family, and now you have to like kind of jump all these hoops to kind of prove yourself that you're worthy to be there. And then at the end of the day, these are still not your kids. And at the end of the day, now you would be creating another broken home if you do decide to procreate with this man. So from that situation, I was like, yeah, no, moving forward, your girl is not dating or being with anybody that has children. And one of the biggest reasons for this thought process for me is if you have a good man, and I repeat, a good man, a high functioning man, you know, because when we think high value, we think money, but just high functioning, like he's emotionally intelligent, he's there for you, he is a good man. He's good, he would be a good father. And if he is those things, he will always choose those children, aka his kids, before you. And if you're a good woman, a high functioning woman, you know, you would always want to put those kids first too. But the problem is that those kids are not your kids. And I do believe that in the hierarchy of a relationship, of a marriage, of a partnership, should be God or whatever you believe in, your husband, your wife, and then the children. And that's the ladder that I'm trying to follow in my own life. And when you mix the blended families, the ladder is different because these children are not yours. So then the dynamic shifts to whatever they believe in, the man, their kids, you, and then whatever goes on. And I don't think that that's the best way to approach a strong foundation. I do believe that a strong foundation is based off God and what you believe in, a strong head of household, which is your husband or your partner. And then your husband knows that if his wife and his partner is good, then the rest of the household follows. He knows that if his wife is being taken care of, his children will be taken care of, you know? That I think the older I get, that's becoming like a no-brainer, non-negotiable for me. So, and it was just such a defensive move on his side because he couldn't fathom someone not wanting someone like him just because he has all these kids, but he has money, right? And he considers himself a high value man. Him thinking that him having money makes him a high value man is giving me the ick. And that's the problem with these men too, because I do see that sometimes. I haven't personally experienced it, but men coming to people just because they have money, that they think that they can do whatever. Baby, you can't buy me. I'm not for sale. Like, baby, this is exclusive. This is VIP only. Like, I'm sorry. Declined, rejected. The fuck? And a person that hasn't done the work himself, like when he talked about having fear of marriage and fear of failure of divorce, like what the hell is that?
I'm not married. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8, okay.
No, baby.
Cool.
It's
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more.
And again, adding more low functioning behavior and creating more broken homes because he's over here talking about he still wants a wife. He's looking for a wife and his girlfriend just had a baby. Like, get the fuck out of here. And he's talking about creating and procreating, creating more kids. Like, are you crazy? Creating more broken homes because he hasn't healed what has broken him. It's disgusting. Go to therapy. I feel like my final thoughts on this is please, please, please heal. go do the deep work that it takes to heal the things that have broken you for so many years, because those broken pieces will affect everything else in your life, you know? And if you're a woman out there that has no kids, please do the work so you don't get blindsided and gaslighted by the Cam Newtons and the Nick Cannons of the fucking world that come and sing beautiful tunes and butterflies and rainbows in your ears, and then they don't back it up because they just want more children, but they don't want families. They don't want a partner. They don't want a life partner at that. So don't let yourself get bamboozled into being part of this game that these men have going on. Okay? Set your standards high. Do the work. Know your worth. Don't depend on a man. Make that money. But I'll catch you guys on the next video. I love you. Go be great. Ciao.